Good morning, everybody. Good morning, friends and families of Living Hope, and anyone else who may be tuning in today and joining us for our time together in The Point. Thanks for tuning in. It's great to have you with us. We're going to be including the entire Bible story in our videos from now on, and you'll see that there isn't a second video from Go Curriculum. So this one will be just a little bit longer than normal. Okay, Gideon and Solomon, how are you guys doing? Are you ready for today? We're going to be getting into the time machine, imagination time machine. Oh, I think Lydia and Abigail are watching too. You're saying, how does it work? Well, I think you all have a really good imagination, right? You can dream things up and create. Well, we're going to use our imagination to travel back in time to see what it was like for the Israelites when they were living in the Promised Land. And you never know what great and amazing characters we're going to meet. You could close your eyes if you want to pretend and imagine as we get on our journey. And we're going back to the year 970 before Christ. We want to find out what life was like then. Okay, I'm going to get the machine going. Someone in the background is going to do that. And here we go. Whoa, we're traveling. I think we're going supersonic speed. We're coming in for a landing. Oh, here we... What? Oh!
Where am I? What's going on? What happened? Where are my royal robes?
Who are you?
Where's my crown? Where's my crown? My royal robes?
Oh.
I lost everything. What happened? Where am I? Where am I?
Oh my goodness.
Where?
I think we did it in reverse. My name's Mrs. Bushhouse, and you must be King Solomon.
That's right. But
you don't...
I sure don't look like it.
No.
I lost everything.
Wow.
I was so richly adorned with everything.
And you lost it.
Now what?
Well,
where am I?
I'm glad you made it. You're safe and sound, but I think what happened is we brought you from the past into the future.
Into the future?
Yes. This is the year 2020. Can you believe it?
2020?
Yes. So, do you have some time? Do you have some time to talk with us?
Well, I must have. That's a long time.
Yeah, that is a long time.
Oh, am I going to live all that time? Wow.
I can't share any secrets with you. Whoa, that's not quite the way it was supposed to work, guys. But anyway, I hope we can get him back to the past. Anyway, King Solomon, who looks a little bit different than you might expect.
Where's my beard? I had a long beard.
Oh my, you lost it on the way. You never know.
What happened?
Well, King Solomon, we all know you're very famous for many things.
Yeah.
Can you tell me about writing? You liked to write.
Oh, well, I tried to write over my whole life, 3,000 proverbs. All the things I learned over my lifetime,
Wow.
and some psalms and stuff, took my whole life. I'm still writing now.
Wow, that's amazing. And so, because you wrote, we have it still in our data, and we can read it. Amazing, eh? Yes, we have read some of your proverbs and your songs. So, you are also famous for having a lot of wisdom. So, were you always a wise man?
Well, not exactly. That comes as you live, and you gotta ask for it. I was feeling quite fearful taking over the reign of the kingdom of Israel, God's kingdom from my father, King David, So I had to ask for a lot of understanding and wisdom so I could be a good king,
And God answered that prayer?
Well, more than answered it. He gifted me with wisdom, and then on top of it, he gave me riches and peace with our neighbors, and I had big plans.
Wow. And because there was peace in the land, you then were able to do something that your father wanted to do, but he was not allowed to. Tell us about that.
Well, it was my father who gave us all the peace around all our borders. They were all afraid of us. So God spoke to my father and said, your son, whom I will put on your throne, he will build a house for me here amongst your people, right? And build the temple in honor of his name. So that was me, of course, King Solomon. I don't look like it. I wear my robes. Anyway, I was able to get from all the neighboring kings, I got them to help me, and they sent me cedar and cypress wood from Lebanon, and we cut great stones to build the foundation and the temple with. And some of them were 15 feet long and 3 feet wide. Wow! And the whole temple was 90 feet long, 30 feet wide, and 45 feet high.
Wow, that's huge. That's huge.
And all the materials were carefully crafted and cut on site. They had to be so careful because we couldn't make a noise when we put it all together in the temple area. This was God's job site. It had to be done in silence. So all the wood and all the carvings of flowers and palm trees, it all was done away from the construction site. That was quite an undertaking.
So you just put the pieces together that they had made over in Lebanon, and they
all had to fit exactly because we couldn't use a hammer or chisel there to fix it.
Wow.
Oh yeah, and that's hammer and chisel. Ooh, lot of work, lot of men worked for us. Yeah.
So, and you didn't even have like bulldozers or excavators or.
What's that? No.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Nobody by the time the temple was done has seen such a glorious structure. It took 7 years to build that temple, and of course, I had to have a palace. Now that took only 13 years to build, but swimming pool and windows and a court. It was just magnificent.
King Solomon. That is amazing. So I imagine once the temple was finished, that there must have been a big celebration. Everybody would have been watching and waiting for it. So.
Of course. Of course. And the sacrifices and the party, 14 days, and the people came from all over, and we invited all those kings that were friendly with us and helped us to build the temple. They all, what a party it was. Oh, I've never seen anything like that after or before. Oh, and then, the wind came. Oh, it was one rushing wind, and the Spirit of the Lord moved into the temple. Oh, I can't see it yet. Oh, wow, it was such an experience. Right? Oh man, I couldn't help myself, and everybody else, we just fell on our knees before our God. Oh, wow. And I said, oh, Lord God of Israel, there's no one like you, and there is no one like him. Do you know him?
Yes.
Oh, there is no God like him. Hide in heaven, above or here on earth. But will God really live on earth? He fills everything. The heavens cannot contain him. How can this little building that was so magnificent ever hold him? Oh, that's not possible. Not possible, but yet he came and made this place where his name would be held in high regards. Oh, I could go on and then about that party and that wonderful experience, and then the initiation of the sacrifice. Oh, what a time it was. What a time it was. I gotta go back there, so can you push up whatever, how did you get me here? Can you get me back there, please?
Okay,
Please.
thank you for sharing that
I gotta go back.
amazing story of how God chose that place to dwell in.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, goodbye. Thanks for coming. Okay. Whew. I'm not sure how that all happened, but wow. You can read about King Solomon in 1 Kings in the Old Testament. There's some amazing chapters there about his life, but 400 years that beautiful temple stood there, and the Israelites went to visit it, and every year, and they brought their sacrifices, and they prayed, and they worked hard, and they built a life for themselves. But then, bad news. Somebody came along and destroyed the temple, the beautiful structure that had been made. They built another one, so that was number 2. But bad news. That one was destroyed as well, and it was never rebuilt in that spot. So, here's a question for you, and I'd like you, with your family, just to pause the video at home and discuss this question together. So we found out that if the temple's gone, so does that mean God's presence is gone? So today, where do you think God's Spirit lives today? So you discuss that together with your family, and then when we come back, we'll carry on. Okay, hopefully you had a good time discussing the question about where God's Spirit lives today. Maybe you remember this Bible verse, Ephesians chapter 2, verse 22. And because you belong to Him, to God, you too, you also are being built together. You're being made into a place, a house where God lives through His Spirit. We're not talking about a church building. The building is not the church. When the Bible talks about church, it's talking about people, the people who have love and who follow Jesus, because God's Holy Spirit lives in you, if that is the case, if you believe in Him. It's everyone in God's family, and it's good for us to be together. But we can't be together, all of us, like we normally are in the building. So here's a challenge for the week. How can you continue to encourage someone, pray for someone, help someone, remind someone about what God has done and what He can do, to pray for each other? How can you do that when we're not able to meet in a building? So come up with some ways as a family to do that this week. That's your challenge. Well, I hope you had fun traveling back in time, although it was supposed to be us going there, but anyways, you know how technology can be. We met King Solomon, and God's Spirit, who lives in us, does not depend on a building. Remember to record also your thankfulness journal, and there's been a request for families to make a video of you sharing what you're grateful for, even in the midst of the pandemic. Of course, we all have to remember the health and safety guidelines of keeping our distance or wearing a mask, and sneeze or cough into your elbow if you don't have tissues, and wash your hands for 20 seconds at least. You can sing a song while you're doing it. So thanks for joining us. God bless you, and we'll see you next time.